So one interesting thing we've been doing some work on lately is how the adoption speed, or how quickly something catches on, might influence how long it persists. So I think as marketers or product managers, we often think, we want our product to become successful. How should we do that? Well, we think we want to get it out there as fast as possible. The more people that adopt it on day one, the more word of mouth there'll be, the greater product awareness will be, and the greater chance it's going to be successful later on. And so in general, common intuition suggests we want products to catch on faster rather than slower. But what we found actually is sometimes catching on too fast can be a bad thing. So actually if products catch on too quickly, that may change the way consumers perceive them, they might perceive them more negatively, and that may make them less likely to persist in the long run. It's definitely the case that these effects depend on the domain. So I'm not saying we want all products to catch on more slowly. What we find is that in identity-relevant domains, or cases where products communicate identity, those are cases where catching on too quickly can be a bad thing. So we often think about, well, what do my clothes say about me, right? How do they communicate a particular identity? Or what about the car I drive, the music I listen to? What does that say about me to people around me? And so we've done some other research that finds that if certain types of people engage in a particular behavior, other people might not want to do it. So for example, if I'm a Harley-Davidson rider, I'm a real tough guy, and suddenly weekend accountants start driving them to pretend they're tough, I might not be as interested in driving that anymore because it changes the meaning of the bike. Or similarly, we can think about Livestrong wristbands that were popular a few years back. Once sort of fly-by-night fans or sort of not-so-cool people started adopting them, the original trendsetters might not want to do them anymore. And that's all about the social group engaging in a behavior and how that can change the meaning. But what we found is actually how quickly something catches on can also change the meaning. So if something catches on particularly quickly, people might be more likely to think that thing is a fad, and that changes the meaning behind the behavior. Suddenly now I'm saying, well, I don't want to do this. Maybe this thing will be a fad, and not everybody wants to be ahead of the times, but we definitely don't want to be behind the times. We definitely don't want to be adopting something that other people see as a fad. And so if things catch on too quickly, that can change the meaning, lead it to be perceived as a fad, and lead it to be abandoned more quickly. So importantly, this doesn't happen in all domains, right? So things like cars, clothes, hairstyles, we actually studied baby names to look at this in particular, and we found that baby names that caught on too quickly were less likely to persist. But that doesn't mean things like refrigerators or dish soap are going to have the same dynamics. Those are domains where we don't really care so much about what our dish soap says about us. Other people don't really infer too much about who we are based on what type of dishwasher we happen to have in our house. And so in those domains, catching on quickly could still be a good thing. It's just in these identity-relevant domains where we don't just do something for what it functionally does, but for what it communicates from us to other people, that's where the meaning of adoption matters a little bit more.